And the first honoree I'm very proud to introduce, I worked with when he was Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. And I remember he said that it's open business now for anybody that's violating civil rights, and he was going to prosecute all the way in terms of ensuring that justice will be served. And his people, Eric Treen and Mazen Basrawi, we salute them for doing great work as he defended the right of a mosque to be built in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And that was up against a lot of heat and a lot of hysteria, and it just shows that how our government is here to defend the rights of the American Muslim community. We will not allow extremists either here or abroad to define the agenda. We will define the agenda for ourselves. And then he went to become the Secretary of Labor and is now talking about making sure that people are defended who are earning low wages, that we have to increase their wages. He's talking to faith-based groups about making sure that our efforts are there to support those who are dealing with disabilities, making sure that women are part of the workforce. So he has worked for equity throughout his tenure, and I'm very proud to introduce him. He's not just the Secretary of Labor for me, he's a personal friend and a colleague. Please welcome our first honoree, the Secretary of Labor, the Honorable Tom Perez.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Can you just read it?
Sure.
Empowering Voices is presented to Secretary Tom Perez in recognition of his dedication to public service and engagement, May 11, 2016, Washington.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. It is an honor to be here with my good friend, Salam. I got to go to your 2009 conference shortly after I got the job in the Civil Rights Division, and it was one of my first trips. And I want to repeat what I said there here, which is thank you. Thank you for everything you do to build an America that is consistent with the ideals of our founding fathers. Thank you for serving with distinction in the Revolutionary War. Thank you for serving our nation with distinction in the Civil War. Thank you for serving our nation with distinction in our world wars, in our Vietnam War, in our most recent Gulf Wars. And thank you for being more American than those who would ever question whether you belong in America, because that's what you have been all about. Thank you for summoning our better angels in the face of unspeakable hatred. And I remember vividly some of the work I had the privilege of doing in the Civil Rights Division, and it reminded me of that famous book by Charles Dickens, A Tale of Two Cities. You know, the best of times, the worst of times, the age of wisdom, the age of foolishness, the season of light and the season of darkness. And when I had the privilege of working with my colleagues Eric Treen and Mazen Basrawi and others in the Civil Rights Division and going down to Murfreesboro, Murfreesboro was about one of the most basic rights in America, a right that we fought a revolutionary war for, which was the right to worship. And it was undeniably a season of darkness when we were prosecuting arsons as they were trying to build that remarkable mosque. But I'll tell you, the season of lightness that I saw, and we fought hard, and we went to federal court, and we went to federal court to vindicate a basic principle, which is freedom of religion in this United States of America. And we won, thanks to you, thanks to your leadership. And you know what? I fought really hard to make sure we got that occupancy permit before Ramadan ended. And we succeeded, because it was very important. And when we had the grand opening of the remarkable mosque, I remember vividly when the Catholic Archbishop came and spoke and said, "Welcome to our community." I remember vividly when the rabbi then followed and said, "Welcome to our community." I remember when the Presbyterian minister came and said, "Welcome to our community," because what they were doing was no different than what Pastor Martin Niemöller said in the depths of World War II, when he said, you know, first they came for the socialists and I did not speak up. because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak up because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak up because I was not Jewish. And then they came for me, and there was nobody left to speak. And you know what? When I saw the grand opening of that remarkable mosque in Murfreesboro, built at twice the cost that it should have been, because not one local construction company would step to the plate and build it. But build it was, thanks to the remarkable persistence of the community at that mosque. I was reminded of Pastor Niemöller, and what we all said there, myself and everybody else, is you will never be forgotten. Because you know what? We are all one United States of America. That is what we are. And as President Obama said, we will never be bystanders to bigotry in this nation. That's the work of the Civil Rights Division. That's the work that Javier Becerra and all the other honorees tonight are doing. That is the work, that is the unfinished business of America, the timeless covenant to build one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No exceptions, no asterisks, no footnotes. That's what this is about. And your advocacy here at MPAC has been indispensable toward building a better America, an America that's consistent with our ideals. And I leave you with one thought that you have already integrated, and that is, remember what I learned in the labor movement. And it's appropriate as we're about to break bread. You know what? If you don't have a seat at the table, you'll be on the menu. And you know what? As a result of your advocacy and your leadership, you have a remarkably important seat at the table. And it's the table of opportunity, the table of the United States of America. Thank you so much for building that table. Thank you for making it a more inclusive table. Thank you for making it a more just table. Thank you for recognizing that while the arc of the moral universe is long, it indeed bends toward justice, but it never bends on its own. And that is why we need your continued leadership. Thank you so much for this very humbling honor, and thank you for all the work that you're doing day in and day out.